Okay, let's just jump straight in. Why you're not getting faster on the guitar. It could be a million reasons, but 99% of the time, it's one of the following cases. You're either too tense, you're lacking hand coordination, so your two hands are not in sync, and that's built through exercises. You're not practicing with a metronome, or you're not slowing down guitar solos on YouTube when you're trying to learn them, which is a very similar thing. Or your movements are too wide, either in your left hand or your right hand, or both. Let's address each quickly. I'll show you what the wrong and right way look like, and then we'll talk about fixes that you could start implementing so that with a bit of time and practice, you can start fixing all these issues. So again, it's mostly 4 reasons. You're too tense, lacking hand coordination and sync, you're not practicing with a metronome, your motions are too big. So let's start with your too tense. If you see someone playing this fast, and you assume that just because it's fast, the faster you go, the more tense you are, you will never be fast. I wish you could get in my brain and feel for a moment how loose the left hand feels and the right hand. There is just the right amount of tension to create a note. When you're a beginner, you tend to struggle with pressing down strings. It feels so hard and they hurt your fingers. The problem is that actually builds a bad habit of like pressing down with all your strength, and you end up playing like this, which is horrible. When you've literally just started playing the guitar, I'm talking like for the first month, it's good to have a bit of pressure because you need it. But then as you progress, it's all about learning where to put your pressure, and you realize how little you need. It's about having the right technique. And once you do, you'll realize that all the pressure you need is like this, barely touching the string. When you're a complete beginner, you tend to get this sound. That's not lack of strength. That's just poor positioning of the finger, because you shouldn't press here. You should press here. All of a sudden, the same amount of pressure creates a note instead of the buzzing. Instead of that, we get this. You know when you use your phone, like the touch screen, you don't do this, do you? It's like this. You barely like lean the finger on the screen. That's exactly the right amount of tension. You barely have to touch that string. When I do this, I'm so loose, like my hand is like floppy, almost like I'm just like floating on that fretboard. I'm not like going. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to go fast. That would sound very rigid. Okay, music needs to be fluid. So that's one fix for you. From now on, whenever you play the guitar, try and reduce the tension in this hand by 20%. You'll realize how little you need. I know it's hard, it's easier said than done, but you need to start letting go of that tension in this hand, okay? In this as well, but most likely it's this if you're struggling with speed. Reason number 2 was lack of hand coordination, okay, sync, and that's just built through exercises really. All those that most people don't want to do, but that's exactly what they need. That's how you build coordination and sync between those two hands. You just have to sit down with a metronome for hours and hours and hours and just do it. And the good thing is you'll see improvements pretty quickly. Like within a couple of weeks, you'll start to see better coordination in your hands and stuff. So I hope that gives you a bit of hope. If you're interested, I put together a collection of exercises exactly like that to build speed and coordination. The link is in the description. We go through alternate picking, legato, and sweep picking. The third reason was you're not practicing with a metronome, or you're not slowing down your guitar solos on YouTube when you're trying to learn them, which is a very similar thing because it's all about timing. If you're just trying to play fast without tracking it, okay? And you're thinking like, oh, okay, last week I was about this fast, I guess. Maybe a bit faster, maybe a bit slower. You're never gonna get fast. You need to track it. If you can track it, you can improve it. To track it, you need a metronome. You need to know, for example, that this week I can do this exercise at 90 BPM, let's say. Okay, that feels good. Let's try 100. And that's a big jump really, I'm just showing you, but truly you should go 1 BPM at a time even. That's what I used to do back in the day when I was building my speed. If you don't do it, then don't complain when you don't build speed. I don't know a single guitarist that can play fast, who hasn't gone through a phase of playing with a metronome and practicing every day for months or years. I'm sure there are some exceptions out there, but I personally don't know one. Same thing with guitar solos on YouTube. Don't just go and try them full speed. You know when you go on YouTube and you click on the cog icon, the gear icon, just slow it down all the way to 0.25. That's how you do it. It sounds painfully slow and robotic at that speed, but that's exactly how you build speed. That's how I've learned all the Guns N' Roses solos back in the day, Metallica and all them. That's exactly how I did it. My relatives in the house hated me. They were like, how many more times are you going to play that solo? And I was like, guys, this is how it's done. Don't hate me. That's what you should do as well. And the last issue that we talked about is big motions. So if you're trying to play fast, but your left hand looks like this, then needless to say, you're never going to go fast. If I watched a video of someone playing the guitar with no audio, and I saw them play, for example, a scale like this, I wouldn't need audio to know that that guy is a beginner. Make sure you keep your fingers right here, as close as possible to the fretboard. How do you do that? It's a conscious effort, so you need to think about it. But again, it's just exercises over and over and over. When you do these exercises, don't do this. Make an effort to keep your fingers glued to the fretboard. So if you have to go super slow to do that, do that. In the right hand, same thing. If you're trying to pick super fast, but your right hand looks like this, it's never going to work. So when you practice, make sure you stay very close to the string that you're picking. Like very tiny movements, that's what you need. If you work on those things, inevitably you're going to improve so much. Again, I put together a system if you're interested. It's in the description. If I had to choose one of these issues, like what is the worst, it's the third one, not practicing with a metronome and slowing down solos. If you start doing that, if you start practicing exercises with a metronome and you gradually increase the speed in a very gradual way, 1 or 2 BPM at a time, you will get faster, and also you'll find that all the other issues that we mentioned sometimes tend to fix themselves. So that's why I'm saying that third issue, the not practicing with the metronome, is the biggest one if I had to choose one out of these 4. And also like your tension and all that, they will tend to go away if you practice the right way. That's all I've got to say for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can improve these things and build speed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.